Hi, I'm Erin Jane Miller, and welcome to another episode of Grit Factor. Today we chat with Nicole Marsden, who is an entrepreneur and founder of Smaak Studios. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. So let's kick it off and just tell us who Nicole is. What are you all about? Tell us your passion, a little bit about your story.
I think I would have to backtrack a lot because I kind of have two worlds that integrated that I never really thought would.
Okay.
I am a blaasmeisie. I
Yes.
am from the farm in the Northwest Province. I never thought that I would sit today with heels on in a studio being interviewed. But yeah, I grew up wanting to be a farmer, really. But then my dad said I'm not allowed. I had to go and do what women do. And I had to figure out what that was. And so I went to go study to be a hairdresser because it was something that I could do for the rest of my life, but I could still pivot if I needed to. So I then moved from Cape Town after my studies to Joburg and met my husband at church, who is very English.
Okay.
And
how does that work out for you guys?
It was I always tell the story of where, in my parents' TV room, they've got two sofas, and the one is my dad's and the other one's my mom's.
Okay.
So Matt sat on my mom's and my dad sat on his, and they were chatting, and my dad was, eventually his English finished. And he was like, Daisy, from today, you are going to speak English.
Oh, English. Okay.
And I will speak Afrikaans.
Okay.
And so we understand each other.
Great.
We're not going to have this conversation again. And since then, Matt has understood Afrikaans very well, and vice versa.
Yes.
So, I think who I am is a mixture of the two. Because I grew up with a very enterprising father.
Okay.
He is my stepdad, but he's my dad.
Yeah.
He's been my dad since I was 10. And it's such an honor to have been his daughter. He showed me how to build something big out of nothing.
That's amazing.
And my brother has recently joined him as well. And so they still thinking of new ways, new concepts to expand the farm. So it's not just one thing, or you having 12 chickens, it's big. And so that really set the standard for me.
That's amazing.
If I can't be part of that, what am I going to create? And then meeting Matt's parents, where his dad is an exceptional creative.
Oh, wow.
They really actually taught me that I was creative. I never knew that I was creative because if you're in school and you can't draw, or you can't, if you don't take art as a subject, then you're not creative. Yeah. And I couldn't draw a stick man to save my life. I took music from when I was about 10. So I'm classically trained.
That's amazing.
But that's kind of the only creative thing I thought I could really do. So when I was exposed to this world of creativity through my in-laws, gosh, it's like you can't stop me.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because now, I can't sleep at night. I have this idea, that idea. What am I going to do?
Yes.
I can blend this. Who says I can't do that?
Yes.
So it was really then, from then, having to journey how to bring everything together into who am I, what do I really want to do, what is my vision for our life as a family, what do we want to leave as a legacy, and kind of build on towards that, when Matt and I got married.
Yes, that's amazing. And I know you do a lot of work with your husband as well. Yeah. Tell us a bit about that.
So my husband was in the wealth management space, and he just felt like he really was not making a real difference.
Okay.
And he pivoted to the tech scene, which everyone knows really is exploded. And so he has a heart for startups.
That's amazing.
He has basically created this platform where tech startups
Yeah.
can come together, and you can connect with an investor, someone that isn't even in the tech scene, but they want to know a little bit more about the industry.
Yes.
So we basically host events every month, one in Joburg, one in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And he interviews on a panel two prominent tech founders that's already made their millions.
Yes.
And basically just in an extremely raw way, interviewing them about how they built this. And amidst the divorce, amidst the loss, amidst the everything, how are they finding the strength to carry on, and what's really their inspiration for innovation?
That's really awesome. And I know you started Smaak Studio, and that's something that you've been doing for all this time. You've obviously built it up to where it's at. How are you pivoting now in this next season?
So, Erin, I firstly never wanted to do hair in the first place. I thought it was extremely boring.
Okay.
But I was naturally quite good at it.
Yes,
I had
you
a feel
are.
for it. I feel like a lot of Afrikaans girls just have a way of feeling around hair. But I stopped doing hair just before COVID, about 2 years before COVID. And then in COVID, people that knew I was a hairdresser started asking me, like, what am I supposed to do on my Zoom call?
Yes.
And so because I then learned how to design websites, I put a website together in like 2 days.
Wow.
To do online consultations, organize for products to get delivered to clients. And that kind of paved the way for where I am today.
Yes.
I never wanted to stay in it. It was a temporary thing. But because I kind of figured out that there were so many gaps that really is not being filled, having gone to the hair salons myself, people not knowing what my name is by the time I leave.
Wow.
People not towel drying my hair at the basin, which is something that you have to do before you put conditioner on. Something small, but like small things like
I
that.
get you.
They take advantage of clients because the clients don't know. And so that really kind of sparked something where I was like, I need to still fill a gap here. And I'm not sure for how long, but I'm going to figure this out.
Yes.
And so I kind of came back into the industry in 2020 and started building up my clientele, and I wanted to be different. I don't like being the same as everyone else. So I found a very specific extensions method called it's a weft, basically looking like a little curtain with hair, and then you sew it in with almost like a crochet stitch. So there are multiple methods of how you can install this extension, but I basically was one of the first in the country. And so the first in Joburg. And built my niche around that. And I'm at a space now, or I'm in a season now where we are looking to have kids. We are looking to just kind of take the next step of our vision, which is, I don't necessarily want to be working 24/7 behind the chair. I'm still passionate about the industry and trying to create the difference, but I want to support Matt a lot more in what he needs so that he can move into the spaces where he needs to move in, and he can't do that without me being in the place to fill a gap for him. So I'm basically removing myself from behind the chair, which is very hard because you've built this relationship with clients, and even though I've personally trained my other stylist to do what I do, she stitches better than me, to be very honest with you. It's people still are attached to the personality. And I think because of my mom, I have a very gentle way of, like a very nurturing way of dealing with people.
But I think it's part of the process. Like you can't, and I'm sure that after a while they're going to start understanding. But there is no way for a person that is like you, that is a go-getter, that is always looking for the next opportunity. What is the next trend? What is the newest thing? How can we level up? For you to stay in that position would be a disservice to them as well, because you have so much more to offer than just doing their hair. It's just the functionality of that. But there's so many more creativity, ideas that you have and things that would then add value to their lives. And so I believe that you can train people, and that's a leadership lesson as well. Like, how do you grow your business? I can't grow my business if I'm the only one that can do what I do.
Absolutely.
I must be able to train up whatever, if it's a stylist, if a colorist, whatever it is. I need a succession plan so that when my next level arrives, I'm ready for that.
Yes.
And that I can grow and expand, and that more people can then come under what I'm building. I know that we spoke the last time, you said it was almost like an epiphany, a revelation that you have, that you are a builder.
Yeah.
And that you definitely, stagnation is and something that the mundane is boring for you. You get flustered quickly and like, what else do we need to do? What's the next thing?
Yeah, there's this Afrikaans word called jikkerig.
Jikkerig.
I get jikkerig. So I just feel like if I'm not growing,
yes,
I'm going down.
Sure.
Because if you're not growing, you're just staying on the same
you're
level.
Maintaining. Yeah.
So in that maintenance, you really are just moving downwards. And so what I've just wanted to create in this kind of, because I always want to be so different that it's hard not to follow. And the only way you can be so different is to create a safe space for people where they really are safe. It's not about, hey, you can come and tell me your skinner stories and I'm going to keep it safe. It's not about that
your
stuff.
place is not like that.
It's about really taking care of you.
Yeah.
So I want to create a space for the stylist. I want to create the space for the brand. I want to create the space for the client.
That's amazing.
So we want to focus on, from the beginning of the client waking up until she has to go to bed, what is her hair routine? What is her lifestyle? Does she train? Does she do CrossFit, or does she do horse riding? Is she a mom?
Yeah.
All of that stuff. So you really have to think of this in a way that we should have thought about this from the beginning.
Yes.
But meanwhile, it became about the stylist and the credibility of the stylist.
Wow.
Where it's like, I've
Less
got
about the client
this
and
master
their needs.
stylist and this master and this. It's not about that. Yes, it helps you for exposure and stuff, but really, it's going to be more about you than about.
And I think that's it about you. And I love your heart, because you are always, you're about empowering the woman. It's not about the other stuff. I mean, and that's why I think people are always looking for you, because you create this environment where they feel comfortable, and when they leave your salon, they've had an experience that they would never get anywhere else. The salon is beautiful, but I also feel like they leave there inspired because you're not just talking about hair. Like
I think they allow me to, but
but I've watched you with your clients. I watch you when I'm there. I'm like sneaking and I'm like, because you're concerned about the individual, which is absolutely different to someone just say, get on my chair, let's do this thing. And so that's
it's like when you see someone, or when you can see the way someone walks into a room and you're like, wow, who is that? And meanwhile, that person is not even in a high-up role in some corporate business. They are a small business owner that's just trying to keep things together.
Yeah.
But they've convinced themselves of this strength that they have because they need it to push through. No one else is going to do things for them. And so when I see something in a client like that, I like to discover what that is.
Yes.
So that's why I ask a lot of clients what they do, even though it is supposed to be so that I can give them better options with their hair. But it gives me a little bit of leeway into who are they, what are they building. I'm very excited about finding out what clients are doing, so that I can also introduce them to each other.
Absolutely.
You know, I love networking. I love playing that role as well. So, it's...
Yeah, that's really incredible, because I love the fact that, whatever you are doing, it's there's a deeper intention. There's something else behind it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I also had a new kind of realization, which is in a way a sad one, but so important, where my uncle passed away recently, and he was 66 or 67. And I thought, gosh, I'm 36 years away from where he is.
Wow.
What am I going to do in this 36 years? Because I turned 30 this year. So what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I still have to have kids. And then I'm like, that's actually when the urgency starts. When you actually have to draw the line in the sand of like, you know what, I'm not going to keep this client because this is a better call for the business.
Yes.
I am actually not going to carry on with this option in the business so that I can expand this way. And having to cut ties with people that you've built relationships with for a long time, unfortunately. But if it's not going to benefit the vision, not the future and my money and all of that nonsense, because if you were building towards the vision, money is going to come anyway.
Automatically, absolutely.
So if you're worried about the money, goodness, no. So yeah, it's kind of a lot of pressure to think about it that way. You know?
I think it's good though, because I think that if you don't, there's a proverb that says people perish for lack of vision. So if you have no vision, you're constantly gonna meet up with obstacles that are gonna keep you back because you don't have anything to work towards. When you have a vision, you have sort of an idea of, listen, this is what I'm going for. Everything else that I do in my life needs to align with the vision. So if you are a client that doesn't align with my vision, love you, thank you, just bye. You know, and if you are not a friend, maybe I've taken you and we've walked a journey, maybe we've been friends for 20 years, but maybe we are going in different directions at the moment. Not to say that we are splitting, but okay, you go your way, I go my way, because I'm building something that is purposeful. I believe that my life is purpose driven, because I know you do believe that. I live by that principle as well. It's about purpose. Is who are the people? What are the resources? What are the environments that I want to create around me so that I am able to, reach that specific vision that I see.
And that vision also enables you to come out of a slump.
Yes, very good.
If you stuck,
I love that.
If you feel like, gosh, this week feels super dark and heavy, and I have no inspiration, I'm not creative, I feel like I don't want to get out of bed. Gosh, I felt like that a lot this year. But then that's why it is so incredibly important to write the vision down so that you can visualize and see it.
Yes.
And write down your non-negotiables. If you're feeling like this, write that stuff down and be like, no, man, don't be a wimp. Just get up and do it.
Yeah.
Even if you do a workout in your pajamas, that's also okay. But the point is just stick to the vision, and if you don't know what it is, it's definitely time to get one. If you don't know what it is, speak to your parents about it. If you don't have a mentor, gosh, I didn't have a mentor I still actually don't have a mentor. I think I have many different mentors, but I don't actually realize who they are in a specific way. So I look for what I know I need in the moment. So that's why I also think I'm kind of wired in different ways.
Yeah.
I think you can even just know that in my taste of music. So
what did you play for me the last time?
What?
There was some song.
No, man, we can go from we can do like 50s and we can do 90s and 80s and 2000s punk rock and no, I love Afrikaans music, but only for like 2 songs. Then I'm
okay. Then you had enough. Your quote
but
is
the
done.
new stuff I can't do. The new like
Lofi and mustn't mention
like
names.
The rap stuff and goed, I can't know. But anyway, music actually has also been a really, really big healing thing for me in my life, because I played piano. So it was kind of a method of finding peace when I didn't have it at the time. And those things are also important. So I think there are many different ways, or I think there are many different things in life you kind of have to figure out. what works for you. And if you are surrounded by people that's too much like you, you're going to be stuck. So you have to, I am not an extrovert at all.
Yeah.
Oh my word. I get extreme anxiety when I go into big spaces, meeting new people. So these events of ours every month, I'm the behind the scenes person, and I prefer to be like that. But it's so important to meet people and introduce yourself, so that you can actually grow into.
Yeah, because people and relationships get you to the next, like your next job. Somebody's gonna open the door for you.
Like you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I didn't meet you, I wouldn't have been here.
Yes.
You know, and so God has a way of making.
Absolutely, and met a lot of other amazing people as well, women as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like Sharon.
Yes.
You know, gosh, what a woman.
Yeah. So that's really cool, and I think also, like, just to touch on mentorship. I think we spoke about it. I think in one of the episodes we actually spoke about the fact that even though you may not have someone in your immediate circle or environment that you can have mentorship sessions face to face or in person, you can read your mentor. You can read their experiences. You can read the pains and their struggles and what worked for them and what didn't work for them. And even though you don't have direct contact with them, they don't even know who you are. But you're learning from them, and you using and applying principles that they have into your life, and definitely you'll be able to like see success because of that. So I think that's cool as well.
In the same way that, you know, our discussion might be some form of mentorship to someone younger that will listen to this. So it's an incredible privilege to be on this side of the microphone.
Yes.
Because, you know, imposter syndrome is also a real thing.
Yeah.
They're not feeling like you are good enough or qualified enough, or you haven't made it big enough to speak that lingo.
Yeah.
It's such a liar, man.
It's such a huge thing, because, and I think, and it's important that you mention it, because I feel like most people and most women specifically experience it, and it's more about, you know, it's more about stepping out and being courageous enough to actually step out and put yourself in uncomfortable situations, because staying comfortable is never going to get you to where you want to go. So yeah.
I actually heard something at my uncle's funeral. Honestly, as much as we lost him, I received so much that day that I would probably take in for the rest of my life, is this idea of the shadow of death. And so if you just apply the shadow of death to shadow of imposter syndrome, or shadow of, or if you're taking the whole concept as is and you're speaking about the concept, it's not the concept itself, it's the shadow of that thing that is coming to kind of take over, you know. And don't just see it as the shadow of the thing. It's not the real actual thing. It's not real because it's in your mind.
Yeah.
It's a mind thing.
Everything
in life is a choice.
Yeah.
And you have to decide how you want to react to it. If someone reacts bad to something you say, you're not responsible for how that person reacts. Yeah. But you are responsible for what you are putting out.
For your own reaction, absolutely. Yeah. So great, Nicole. It was so lovely chatting to you. I know you've got some things in the pipeline. What are you working on at the moment? And then before we go, just share where people can follow your journey, where we can find out more about you on socials, etc.
Cool, yeah. So I am currently building a personal brand where it's more about not necessarily me, because I really am not fancy at all, but I think just sharing what inspires me, sharing what gets me going on my personal platforms, which is my Instagram and TikTok. And I'm not too sure how it's going to grow, but I've got some friends that's kind of nudged me into this of like, you have to be a creator, So I'm trying to find my extrovertness to do all of this. So I'll be on Instagram at It's Nicole Marsden. Between the words is an underscore, and Smaak Studios is also expanding.
Yes.
We are getting a color specialist in.
Awesome.
We'll have a weft specialist, so an extension specialist, and we'll have a blow dry specialist specific.
Amazing.
And we will only be using Dyson products
in
the salon.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm a huge Dyson fan.
Yes.
And because of the story, because of the whole entrepreneurship journey that James Dyson also had.
Yeah.
But my angle for the brand also is we're not endorsed by them.
Yeah.
Just want to say this.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can be.
Yeah, probably.
But it's important that people know why Dyson is the best. And so they're not really taught about the innovation, and we are going to teach them about the innovation because we want the best for all of our clients.
Yes.
So yeah, and we're going to be hosting workshops as well.
Oh, excited for that.
In group settings,
Yes.
in single settings in the salon as well, if you're not a fan of crowds. Just to teach people more about how to understand, style, and care for their hair at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And thank you just for being the amazing, creative, fun-loving. You are extroverted, in some ways you are.
I knew it. I'm comfortable with you.
You are, but you're so passionate and driven, and I definitely feed off that. So thank you so much. All the best with everything that you're planning.
Thank you.
We'll chat soon.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to follow me on social media for any updates, behind-the-scenes content, and so much more. You can find me on Instagram at ErinJaneMiller08, on Facebook as Erin Jane Miller, and on TikTok at Erin Jane Miller.